I do want to jump over to a discussion on the increasing normalization of radical gender ideology. I don't think this topic gets enough mainstream coverage, to be totally honest. And there have been a few recent bizarre cases that just reminds you that Canada is the capital of clown world. So to start things off, there have been a number of cases of across the country of these all ages drag shows or these drag queen story hours. There's been a few examples in BC, in Alberta. These just bizarre kind of children targeted events. I have to say, like, what do you think of these sort of drag shows for kids?
Yeah, the problem with that is for the legacy media, for them, it's their cause. They are promoting that.
Yeah.
And what I don't like, it's a sexualization of children. They are doing shows and these transgender people, I respect them. You have the right to do what you want to your body. But kids, we are promoting in our school to kids, if you don't feel to be a boy, you may be a girl. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
And when they are having these kind of drag queens shows, that is showing to the kids, you can be like them. Yeah, that can be, you can be like them. You just have to take some hormones, and you'll be like that. And maybe kids like it, kids like to see these drag queens. I don't know. It's the promotion of that is wrong, and they can do what they want. But the promotion of that radical trans ideology is bad for our society.
Yeah. And like drag shows are an innately sexual event. Like it's taking a man and making him appear like a hypersexualized woman. Like, sure, that might be some people's cup of tea, but it's just not appropriate content for children. Like,
absolutely,
it wouldn't be appropriate if they were dressed in their own genders, acting in a hypersexualized dress and dancing around and having children put money in their near their private parts and stuff. It's just simply not appropriate content for children.
It is not. And I'm a little bit older than you, Danielle, but in my time, that transgender ideology for us, it was, gender dysphoria.
Yes.
And the solution for that was not hormones or a surgery. It was, for the person to accept their own body. And that must be the case, because we all know that a man won't be able to be a woman, and a woman won't be able to be a man. That's the biological reality. And now with that radical trans ideology, we try to promote that there's more than two sexes. And no, there's only two sexes, and that's man and woman and boy and girl, and that's it. But what is happening in our society, it's sad that other mainstream political parties are not speaking about that. And they are not speaking about that. You know why, Danielle? Because it's popular. It's trendy. So, they want to have your support. They want to be part of that. But, it's not because it's popular that, we will change our point of view on that.
They're scared of being called names, right?
Yeah.
They're the only response to any sort of pushback, even just saying this is not appropriate for children. The response of the left and these radical activist types is just you're bigots. You're just full of hate. This is about love, not hate. Like, that's all their responses. And like, even to the simple argument as this is not appropriate for children. They're not saying that you should go to jail for doing drag. Like, they're just saying stay away from the kids.
That's it.
Because it's grooming, and they think that it's offensive to even say it's grooming when their argument is basically the same. No, we're just trying to normalize appropriate queer gender identification.
When you have less than 1% of the population, so and also it's a kind of an insult for real feminist women. we want women to have safe places, and now in our society, you have an example in BC, I believe,
Yeah.
so that in BC, a gym for women decided that it's only for real women.
Yeah.
If you can have a baby, for us it's a definition of a woman. So a guy came over there and said, I feel like a woman,
Yeah.
and I want to be there. So can you imagine when for these ladies that are there, and they will have to look at that? Do we have the
Yeah, I
the
think we got a
a
screenshot.
screenshot of look.
There we
Is
go.
he? Yeah.
This
Is
is
he a
this
woman?
is Bridget Klein Simpson out in BC, and much like Jessica Yaniv of a few years ago, the Wax My Balls fellow.
Yeah.
This guy is demanding to be let into a females only gym.
Yeah.
He's been asked by the owners to attend their co-ed location instead, to maintain this kind of safe space for women. And he's been suggesting that this is discriminatory, and that he doesn't feel comfortable at co-ed gyms because there's men there, and he feels uncomfortable with
And
that.
he may table a complaint in from the
Human Rights Tribunals.
Human Rights Tribunal. And actually, these people, they are not real judges.
No,
They're
it's a kangaroo court.
activists, leftists, and so it's happening. They think that they have a right. Sorry about that, but they don't have a right. That person has no right to be in a private gym. If you own a private gym, you have the right to decide, this gym is only for women. That's it. And real one, by the way.
Yeah. And to make, all the women at the gym uncomfortable just so he can be comfortable is bizarre.
Yeah.
But
it's happening in our society, and for the legacy media, that's great. That's okay.
And Bridget, gyms can be uncomfortable spaces.
Yeah.
Like you have to, there's a certain level of confidence to go out there and to lift weights and maybe not be good at it, but you're out in public. Like, it's uncomfortable for lots of people to be in a co-ed gym. That doesn't mean that you get to move into a woman's kind of safe space. It's just absurd.
And you have another case on that, I believe. A lady, a professional nurse, she was censored and punished because she said there's only two sexes.
She's the woman who paid to put up the billboards that said "I heart J.K. Rowling." And this is, I guess, a transphobic dog whistle because J.K. Rowling has been labeled a trans exclusive radical feminist because she believes that there are two genders. So now she's feeling pressure from her workplace because of her political activism.
Yeah, and from the professional regulatory body, and like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
So now these regulatory bodies are trying to regulate what your wrong thing and what you think. They try to regulate your thought, and she does not have the right as a lady to say something that it's based on real biological evidence. And so that's scary. These regulatory bodies are leftist organization and try to impose their woke point of view on their members. It's not supposed to happen in a free society. And Poliev, the conservative, the liberals, Trudeau, the NDP, they're okay with that.
He's happy to stand up for famous multimillionaire Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But he's not going to say anything for the little guy. It's one thing if you're promoting your politics in the workplace, right? That's under the purview of these business councils. But now what? You can't have your outward political opinions outside? It's not like she's hurting anyone.
She's not. Yeah,
it's a democracy. Aren't we allowed to voice our opinions outside of the workplace? No, you're only allowed to have these narrow, radical views. Then they're fine. If she was just going to a pro-transgender event,
that would be okay.
That would be great. She would be.
Yeah.
They would call her brave, right? Or if she decided to identify as a man, even at the workplace, that would be fine. But
I'm supporting 100% of what she's doing, and that we are fighting for common sense. And but it's too bad that she will have to spend money to defend herself in front of uh, a fake tribunal. I don't know what will happen in the end. I hope she will keep her job, but that's the society of today. And that's why I'm saying, we need to have an ideological revolution. We need to have a common sense revolution in this country. That's why it's not what is happening in our country. It's not what it's supposed to happen in a free and democratic country.
Yeah. Before we move on to the last segment, I want to get your reaction to one of these videos back from one of these all ages drag shows. There was one in Calgary a couple of weeks ago. And I just thought this was hilarious, and I want to get your reaction. This is there was protesters, and then there was counter protesters that showed up, and let's just watch this news clip.
I couldn't imagine that in Canada in 2023 this would still be happening.
Protesters and counter-protesters gathered at the Deerfoot City location of the Rec Room in Calgary Sunday. A drag show was scheduled at the venue. There was also a group planning to attend with a poster saying, "All-age drag show protest," with a quote from the Bible.
Pedophiles, groomers and pedophiles, all of it.
If they have visited any drag show, they would know that that's not what happens at drag show. Drag is a form of art, and like any other form of art, it can be appropriate for children or not appropriate for children. But we're not saying that children should not be allowed in a Louvre or any other museum.
A large group also came out to support the drag show, organized by the 2S LGBTQ+ community and allies. That group greatly outnumbered the group in attendance against the show.
As an openly gay person, it felt like it was my duty, right, and responsibility to come to counter-protest the hate. So we gathered some of our friends, and we're here to show them that Calgary supports love, and we support diversity, and we support drag for all ages.
Calgary police have set up a barrier between protesters and counter-protesters. Some exchanges between the two groups have been more heated with yelling, while others are holding up signs with various messages.
Drag is beautiful! Drag is beautiful!
Protesters against the drag show displayed signs with messages including "God save the children from sexual exploitation" and "All ages drag shows are child abuse." Also messages against Justin Trudeau and the federal government. Anna Murphy is a transgender woman and advocate for the 2S LGBTQ+ community in Calgary. Murphy sees the importance of showing up in support of the event so that businesses don't stop putting their allyship into action when hosting events like the drag brunch.
All of that progress has been made. In some ways, we are regressing. And especially when it comes to transgender, two-spirit, non-binary, and gender-diverse folks, they are kind of sort of the new target of these alt-right, hate groups.
In Calgary, Danina Falkenberg, City News.
What do you think? I just think it's it's comical. Like, they have this alien-looking person being like, "Drag is perfect. We should be able to let me talk to your kids." Like, what? No, I don't want you anywhere near my children. Like,
he can do what he wants, or she can do what she wants, but always in front of kids, and that's coming there. They want to influence these kids to be like them. And that must be the role of the parent to decide if they want that or not. But for me, they can do what they want. Drag shows, it's not new. We had that for a long time. And that being said, but now they are pushing kids in that and using kids. That's what I don't like.
No one was protesting drag shows in 2015. No one cared.
No.
Do what you want, enjoy what you want. But then all of a sudden, the normalization of all ages, drag queen story hour, all this weird stuff around children, that's when these protests started. That's when the pushback started. And no, it's just hate. Like, they have signs that say this is child abuse, that stay away from the kids, protect the kids. And they're, like, you saw the news coverage, the advocates on the other side. It's hate. This is just about love. You guys are bigots. Like, no one was saying
I-
homosexuals need to be killed.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what the sign said. We're not talking about the Islamic Republic here. We're talking about protecting children.
That's it. And I hope that parents will do a little bit more, to protect their kids. When I'm saying that, protect them from that new radical for me, but not for them ideology. And it's the new normal. That must not be the case. They are a minority, a very fringe minority, less than 1% of the population. And it's okay. Do what you want. But please, not in front of the kids.
Yeah.
That's what we are asking for.
It doesn't seem like an unreasonable request. And who was the politician that was defending this exact event? It wasn't Justin Trudeau. It wasn't Jagmeet Singh.
Conservative, maybe?
It was our friend Michelle Rempel. I think we have a screenshot of her tweet here. There's no hate in Calgary. She stands with the counter protesters and the drag queens.
Yeah.
So telling from the modern Conservative Party, they won't even stand up for the kids.